What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared Haas, and welcome back to this week's edition of NASCAR Mailbox. Digging into the action after Talladega Superspeedway. While I was there on the ground, and let me tell you, you guys were upset on the overtime. So let's get into it. And this first question about overtime comes from KY. They ask, can we go back to racing to the line when the caution's out? Nothing's more frustrating than a finish under yellow. I do agree that it's frustrating to finish under yellow, but those precautions of not racing back to the line is there for a reason. There were a lot more cars behind the incident that was going on in the last lap when Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney wrecked instead of front of. Yes, I'd like to see Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney duke it out for the win, but you understand the safety part of this aspect, that there are cars that are still behind that still have to get through the wreckage. And we've seen injuries have been a big concern. So, no, we can't have that type of racing back to the line come back. It's a safety reason. They implemented it 20 years ago when Dale Jarrett wrecked at Loudon, and his car was stalled, and a car could have definitely hit him while he was still waiting to, like I said, to get out of his car. So safety shields should be the number one concern. I don't think they need to go racing back to the line for caution when it comes out. Field needs to be frozen. Understand that frustration. I don't want it to happen like that way, but I don't want someone barreling in there because it's still green, but there's a wreck in front of them. And this next question comes from Blizzard0812. They ask, what do you think of the overtime rules? Oh boy, these overtime rules have definitely made races a lot more longer and complicated. The three races that have been here this season, the Daytona 500, the Circuit of America's race, and now more recently Talladega, had multiple attempts at a green-white checkered. This is what you get with the product of it's a race win that matters. It's not just all about a finish. So overtime, I think, needs to be a little bit different in super speedways. ARCA implemented this rule with overtime just being a green checkered instead of a green-white checkered. You don't have that build-up in anticipation of, oh, we need to go now. You only have one lap to do it. So I think that should be at super speedways. Overtime, I think, should be limited. 3 would be max. I'd prefer 2. I like a green flag finish, but if these drivers are not going to race respectively to get a race under green flag conditions, it's their fault. Yeah, understandably, I mean, I'd be frustrated too to throw to caution, 2 laps to go, piece of debris on track. That's kind of an ordeal that's frustrating, you know. What happened to that piece wasn't there. But when you have multiple attempts and drivers are running into each other, you're just creating an atmosphere of chaos. And I think drivers need to realize this if they want to, I don't want to say please the fans, but if they want to finish under green flag conditions, what a lot of people want, they don't want tangled up race cars. They got to be respectively understand this, that, you know, you might need 1, maybe 2 attempts, but getting up there 3 or 4, especially at Circuit Americas for how the race was running, can get frustrating. Understandably, the race package has not really been a passing pro, as to say. You had Corey LaJoie during the race say, I want track position at Talladega. Bonkerest things I've ever heard was saying that you need track position at Talladega coming off of pit road, a track that you used to come through anywhere. So I do think that overtime needs to be adjusted, eliminate a little bit more, have super speedway races only have 1 lap instead of 2 laps, and we'll see how it goes, how these drivers can handle themselves on the racetrack. Besides, it's their it's their prerogative if they're going to wreck someone or not and go to the next green, white, with checkered or not. 3 and 2 and 1. Make sure to check back next week's NASCAR Mailbox after we recap the action at Dover Motor Speedway. Make sure to have your questions ready Monday morning and even afterwards before I record on Wednesday nights. As always, have a great race weekend.
This is Blaine Perkins, driver of the number 9 Raceline Wheels CR7 Motorsports Chevy. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.